Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Taking Up Space, a Michelle A. Mayer podcast. Always excited about coming forward, y'all. Today is no different. Today, we're going to be speaking to how overall what you got going on is your thing. It's your creation. You must keep that in mind. And, what brought this on is I had an eventful morning. And I've been having this on my spirit for the longest, but a lot of us, we find ourselves in dynamics where we don't understand exactly the totality of what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? Like we can find ourselves in Oz, y'all, so easily. Literally, you and Toto have landed in Oz and you do not know what the heck is going on. And it will be as if you will pull from the innate aspects of yourself, those things that you know you've tried, that are proven, that are true to who you are. You don't need to go search in a book to find these things. You don't need a pep talk because you've landed in Oz, and you landed in Oz through chaos. And because you landed in Oz in chaos, you don't have time to take a class. You don't have time to call someone. Oz doesn't have a phone. You don't have time to wonder who's going to come and motivate you. You're going to have to default into who you really are for real to get yourself out of Oz. And it will be, the Oz's of life are not always in some never, never land. The Oz's of life that we experience are in our natural world, around the people that we've become accustomed to. We could be dealing with things. They don't even have to be struggles. They could just be situations that we're dealing with, or they could be struggles that we're dealing with, and nobody will know we're dealing with them. We won't call someone and tell them about it. We won't go seek counseling for it. I mean, not to say that that's bad. I'm just saying that in the reality of things, the big scheme of things, we go and we figure it out. We default to what we know. And a lot of times when we land in the Oz places of life, it's as if the Oz places of life bring out a phenomenon amongst those that are closest to us. They show another light to those people. It could be because of our own special needs that we need met, and we are relying on people, hopefully, to be able to assist us, strengthen us, care for us in some sort of way that they just don't do. And or maybe because they don't know that they could, that they need to do so. But then also there are times when they probably do know. They probably know way more than we think that they know. They just don't say that they know. If you've aligned properly in your walk in life, you are right where God needs you to be. That's the conversation today. Oz or no Oz. If you've aligned properly in your life, regardless to what it looks like, you are right where you need to be. That's what I got for you today. That's what Spirit has conveyed to me. Take all the drama out and the emotion out. The fact is that if you have aligned properly in your life, and you've done your due diligence all by yourself to move through this thing with honesty and integrity and in truth, you, my friend, are right where you need to be. You are not a damsel in distress. You are not a lost man. You are right where God needs you to be. And what better place for God to put you than in the midst of chaos, or what you think is chaos? To see what you know, to show you people, not by the masks that they project and they display to you, that you know are masks, but you feel are harmless, and you've come to accept them and their masks because you feel sorry for them, or you feel that that's just a weakness that they have, and your love for them allows you to overlook such things that you would not overlook with other people. Because if you overlook with other people, you would be inviting all of the demons that reside within the hearts and minds of those that ascribe to such things into your life. But because you know these people, you got history with them. They're your sandboxes, your day ones. You will overlook it. You have a rhythm with them. You've worked out the whys of the mask that they wear. You psychoanalyze them enough to feel safe with them consistently wearing this mask around you, never for a second finding it within themselves to take it off. You'll make excuses for them, go to war on their behalf because of their masks. Yet, wherever you are in your life, you are there on purpose. And whatever God is showing you through whatever place you are on the linear trajectory of your life, God has allowed that to be that way so that you can get a bird's eye view, a crystal clear, high definition image of exactly who is who and what is what. And seeing things for what they are, a lot of times it has to be through chaos. Because how else do you get to see the truth of things? I never really got to see who I was for real in action, what I default to when I feel like I don't have any options, until I was put in a situation where I felt like I didn't have options. I myself was surprised at what I defaulted to. I could imagine what I would do, but imagination and what you actually do when that time comes upon you are two different things. When you are in a situation, when you are in the spaces of life where life is unfolding itself and is coming with tremendous change, newness, if you know you have aligned properly in your walk with God, then you must know that those things that you experience are by way of God's divine design. There is no happenstance in God's design, friend. They are just the way that we view them that makes ourselves feel as if they are some sort of anomaly. But if you're mindful, as I hope this podcast will allow you to be, you will observe all of the nuances and all of the activities of those around you and of yourself and how you interact during this precious time of your life. It is a gift from God that only the capable can acknowledge, because only the capable will be able to see it for what it truly is, not get emotionally bombarded down by it, not trauma bond to it and hold it and say, I'm going to stay in this because I don't want to forgive you, even when the sun begins to shine and healing occurs and we're ushered into the next phase of our existence. And that experience that we had in seeing things raw and uncut passes. No, it's not to use it as a method of trauma bonding and holding on to negative experiences so that we can never forgive people and that we can box ourselves in to a life of resentment. in fear. That is not it. It comes to show you the variations of life, the variations of the human phenomena of people. It equips you with another nugget of knowledge of the environment around you. And it allows you to be the alchemist, to transform that thing in whatever capacity that you see fit based upon the criteria being emitted of it to serve you. You are right where God wants you to be, friend. You're right on time. And a lot of you guys are getting straight A's. I'm so proud of you. High five to you. I see you. If you started slow on your journey to your now, meaning if there was a season between your past now, that high activity season you were in where you were enamored in creating or standing in your truth of whatever that is. And then there was a gap of chaos, of strangeness, of confusion, a low time. You had to sit in the corner for a couple of years or a couple of months or whatever. Maybe you had to look a kind of way to some people for a duration of time. And you couldn't do anything about it. Whatever that is, that gap, no matter what you did to overcome it, it was nothing you could do. You had to honor it. You had to bend to it. It was that type of season. And then the winds of change came upon you. It seemed like overnight. And you immediately began to feel active again. And now you're in your now and you're active. If not aligned properly, you will begin to feel bad about those inactive years, or those years that you were active, but not really in the way that you normally have become accustomed to, not fully active in the way that you are in general. You will condemn yourselves because of those years. I encourage you not to do that. God needed you to be in that mode during that season. Any of you that are in that season now, I encourage you, do not beat yourself up because of them. Do as much as you can, but know your alignment and know when you must rest. You know your limitations within your season. This too is a test. It's a test to see if you are subtle enough to feel when God is directing you in a particular manner. They're all strengthening techniques that God is using in real life to learn Him, so that you know in your next how to manage, so that you know in your next the subtleties of God. You don't have to relearn them. They're always with you now because you've gone through that portion of things. And then when you're active again, don't let your past come, or the demons of your past that work through people come to try to take you out of that, to try to convince you, no, you're not ready. You're not ready. I have another plan for you. I want you to do something different now. No, I'm going to do this. No, this is what I feel like I'm going to do, and I'm going to focus on this. Because what? Overall, it's my thing. This is mine. This is mine. This is me and God. Not me, you, and God. You don't have anything to do with this. It's amazing how people will come and try to superimpose themselves in you and God's thing. They will come as imposters to God, friend. How many times people will get up and say, oh yeah, he's an imposter of light and he's an imposter of this, but you are working with imposters. You are allowing imposters to impose themselves upon what you and God have going on. You are bending the will of both yourself and of God to an imposter. You're hypocritical. Extremely. Overall, this is your thing. You didn't need anyone's permission to get up and get this far. In fact, if it were up to someone else, you probably wouldn't have made it this far. So why do you need someone's opinion or permission to keep going in whichever direction you see fit? Why? You must be selfish in this aspect. There will be many in your lives that you will view in a new light based upon the seasons of your life. There will be some you will hide that you did not have in a high regard in one season. But another season comes and they will show aspects of themselves that will earn them a new seat in a higher regard within your life by way of their actions. You will look at those people and say, wow, I never thought that they would behave such a way towards me in a positive light. I never thought it would be them. They will be granted a new seat at the table of your life. And they will feel worthy to want to sit at the table of your life if you have aligned properly. If you bring a multitude of blessings and gifts with you, they will want to sit at your table, friend. But there will be others in your life that you must renegotiate your relationships with based upon actions within seasons of your life. Those that have been wearing a mask that you knew all along had on a mask, but you loved them and you said, that's my person with a mask. I don't care. You accepted them. Would have gone to war in the day, in the whole daytime, friend, on their behalf. But that mishandled you intentionally during pivotal seasons of your life. And it doesn't mean that you have to completely turn your back on them and do away with them completely. But it does mean that they have been demoted, that they no longer have that seat at your table in the fashion that they had before. And that in itself causes a mourning. That's a sad thing. Because it doesn't just change you, it changes the trajectory of many things. It can change the trajectory of families. Whole family dynamics built upon such a precipice could be changed overnight by betrayals, deception, withholding pertinent information to those you love or you say you love, or just downright wrongdoing. Yet, through it all, overall, it's your thing. It's your thing. And God has you right where He wants you to be. Everybody else can go. If they must fall off, they got to fall off, friend. And God will build up something new and better. You must trust this. You must trust and you must know that if aligned properly, you are exactly where God wants you to be. That's my word for you. With no condemnation, no making nobody else bad, no not making one good. It is what it is. If you are aligned properly, you are right where God wants you to be. Last thing I want to say. The last thing you should ever do is count people out. I've spoken to this underdog phenomenon all along. I can go back years before I even began these podcasts or Bible studies. I was talking about underdogs, friend. One thing I learned in my life is that I never count the underdog out. Underdog don't have nothing to lose. The underdog can flex in ways that most can't because nobody's paying attention. And if and if they are, they still have the ability to flex because nobody has a lot of money banking on them. People will treat you a certain way because they feel like they can. Goes back to the analogy that I made about the mask. Somebody wearing half of a mask, you know it's them. They know you know it's them. They know that you see the mask. Half of a mask means that they show a certain aspect of themselves, but another aspect of themselves they hide and camouflage. So you never really get the full ideology of who they are, what they represent. You don't get the totality. They don't declare it. They're in that middle ground place. Yet, as it relates to the underdog, these middle ground people, they don't look to camouflage their intentions as much with the underdogs. They'll show the underdog who they are in a second. They don't care what the underdog thinks of them. Because the underdog they feel has no relevance any longer. They don't have anything to offer, so they don't need to show their best side. They can show their true side to the underdog. Because they believe that the underdog, if they size the underdog up, they believe that the underdog will never ever ascend past a particular level that they have acknowledged for the underdog. They've boxed the underdog into a particular demographic, a particular level, and they don't ever expect the underdog to ascend out of that. And I'm here to tell you that that's the worst thing you can do. This is how champions are built. Many of the champions you see were once underdogs. And they've never forgotten those people in their past that wore half masks, yet that to them showed their full and true nature. And it wasn't good. They didn't care enough to hide the intention. You see, they disregarded, they judged prematurely based upon status quo. But you can't judge an underdog by status quo. An underdog is a tricky spot. It's a temperamental place. Because to come up out of the underdog slot, it takes heart. You got to have some heart. You got to be like Dorothy, who lands in the land of Oz with Toto and finds it her business to figure out a way out. And every individual she comes across along her path, she invokes with her spirit, her courage, her guidance, her knowing. to build them up. And in building them up, they align to her in loyalty and they serve her. And they all as a unit are made better. This is what real underdogs do. They take all of that stuff you throw at them, all of your sorry judgments, all of your nickel and dime help, all of your gossip, all of your wickedness, all of your whatever, and they alchemize it. They infuse it and transform it with their stuff, and they make it serve them. And they never forget it, because it is truly a journey that you never forget. It's a journey that you build upon. It doesn't stop. You don't arrive and then, oh, now I can go kick back. No, it is ongoing. It is constantly morphing. It is constantly ascending. And those same people that didn't care what they projected on the underdogs because they felt that they could, all of them same people that showed the terrible side of themselves because they felt like they could, because they felt as if they had an advantage, or because they felt as if it didn't matter anyway. They were never going to come up out of it. All of those people are going to have to come back and see that underdog. Oh, yeah. They're going to come back and see the underdog, friend. That's a fact. Let the underdog be you. Let that aspect of the underdog be you, if you must be the underdog. Have character about yourself. Align properly with what matters to you. Don't bend to the wiles of other people. Lead and direct by the power and the will of God that is within you. And God will make them people come and see you, friend. I'm trying to tell you something I know. The God within me told me to tell you that today. You're loved more than you'll ever know. I'll never stop telling you. Be good to yourselves and be good to one another.